All right, here we are back to the next chapter in Race Against Death. This one is No Escape. Late one Saturday afternoon, 14-year-old Janet McGowan and her sister Laura were sitting in the hall of their New Jersey home wrapping Christmas presents. Suddenly, they heard the smoke alarm ringing in their grandmother's apartment upstairs. A moment later, their grandmother, 71, came rushing down the steps. "There's a fire in the TV room," she cried. Without a word, Janet got up and ran into her family's apartment to get the fire extinguisher, while her mother tried to calm her grandmother. When she got back to the hallway, though, Janet stopped with a look of horror on her face. "Kathy and Tom!" she shouted. Their friends, 29-year-old Kathy Kotz and her 25-year-old husband, Tom, lived in a third-floor apartment. They were newly married and expecting a baby, and although she could already hear the fire crackling away upstairs, they hadn't come down yet. Maybe they didn't know a fire was below them. Thrusting the fire extinguisher into her mother's hands, Janet sprinted for the enclosed stairway that ran up the back of the building to the third floor. She dashed up the stairs through the smoke. As she passed her grandmother's kitchen window, the heat from the fire made it explode outward, but Janet ducked the flames and the flying glass and ran on. She pounded on the Cott's apartment door. "Tom!" she screamed as loudly as she could. "Kathy! There's a fire! You've got to get out!" Frightened, Tom and Kathy ran out into the hallway, and the three of them started back down the stairs. But almost immediately they found their way blocked by fire. "The hall was full of dense black smoke," Janet later said. "My glasses got all fogged up, and I was spitting black stuff." Ugh. Tom led them back up into the third-floor apartment. "Get down on the floor," he told them, running water over some dish towels. "Here, put these over your faces." As the smoke started to creep into the apartment, Tom led the two young women to a rear window and opened it. And then they waited, listening desperately for the sound of fire engines. They took turns breathing fresh air. The smoke grew thicker around them. The floor grew hot beneath their feet, and then the flames started licking around the edge of the door. Kathy was almost hysterical, Janet recalled. She was worried about her wedding album. She was worried about the baby. 3 stories below them in the backyard was a swimming pool, and they considered They considered trying to jump into that, but just as Tom lifted Janet up to the sill, they heard, through the night, the sound they'd been waiting for. "Kathy," Janet said, "you can hear the fire engines coming. We're going to be okay." And a few minutes later they were. Firemen helped them along the roof and down a ladder to safety. Janet's bravery saved many lives that day. Wow, there they are. You see that? They're at the top of the stairs, and there's the fire. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, that's it for today. We'll pick up the next ones tomorrow. Till then, bye.